Breaking: Randy Orton fired by SmackDown GM Nick Aldis and Hhh after Backlash 2025. Real reasons. Welcome back to Wrestling News CC, the #1 destination for all your WWE breaking news, rumors, and shocking updates. And today, we've got some bombshell news that's going to shake the WWE universe to its core. This is a major development that nobody saw coming, and trust me, it's going to leave you speechless. Randy Orton, the Viper himself, has just been fired by none other than SmackDown General Manager, Nick Aldis, and WWE's Chief Operating Officer, Triple H. The shocking firing happened right after Backlash 2025, and it has left the entire wrestling world in utter disbelief. But what led to this? Why did Orton get let go after all these years of being one of the cornerstones of WWE? Well, stick around, because we're about to dive deep into all the real reasons behind this unexpected decision. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on any of the latest breaking WWE news. Now, let's get into the thick of it. Randy Orton fired by WWE after Backlash 2025. It's not every day that a WWE legend gets fired. We've seen some controversial exits in the past, but this one takes the cake. After the events of WWE Backlash 2025, the Viper, Randy Orton, was officially let go by SmackDown GM Nick Aldis and Triple H, signaling the end of an era. Backlash 2025 was supposed to be a monumental pay-per-view for WWE, but for Randy Orton, it turned into a night that would completely alter his career. After an incredible match that left fans on the edge of their seats, Randy Orton's actions backstage caught the attention of WWE higher-ups. What seemed like an isolated incident quickly spiraled into something much larger, leading to his dismissal. But what exactly happened at Backlash? And how did it all lead to Randy Orton being fired? Let's break it down. Why Randy Orton was fired by Nick Aldis following Backlash 25. Let's rewind a bit. Back at Backlash 2025, Randy Orton was involved in a heated rivalry with one of SmackDown's brightest stars, which had been building for months. The match was supposed to be the culmination of their feud, but instead of focusing solely on the match, Orton's actions outside the ring took center stage. Sources backstage revealed that Orton, despite being one of the most experienced WWE superstars, exhibited a level of disrespect that had WWE management on edge. Nick Aldis, the SmackDown GM, reportedly had a long conversation with Orton prior to the event, urging him to keep his focus on his in-ring performance. But as tensions rose between Orton and his opponent, things started to escalate beyond the ring. After the match, Orton's conduct backstage became the focal point of a heated argument between him and WWE officials. The situation was serious enough that Nick Aldis, Triple H, and other key figures within WWE had no choice but to take drastic action. They felt that Randy Orton's attitude and actions were not in line with the company's standards. But that wasn't all. Orton's actions had been a recurring issue for WWE management, leading them to believe that his future with the company might be in jeopardy. Randy Orton has been on thin ice with WWE management. Orton's firing didn't come out of nowhere. He had been on thin ice with WWE management for quite some time. Over the last year, there had been growing concerns about his behavior, especially backstage. Although he's always been known as a bit of a loose cannon, Randy Orton's actions had begun to cross the line in the eyes of those in charge. There were reports of Orton clashing with both younger superstars and veterans, creating an environment that wasn't conducive to the company's overall goals. His controversial comments, moments of unprofessional behavior, and several backstage incidents were starting to pile up. In fact, WWE's higher-ups had already warned Orton multiple times about his conduct, but it seemed like each warning only pushed him further into defiance. One incident that stands out happened just a few months before Backlash 2025, when Orton was fined for a heated argument with a fellow superstar that escalated into a near-physical altercation. This wasn't the first time Orton had found himself on the receiving end of a fine or a reprimand, and at that point, WWE management had run out of patience. And as we all know, when it comes to WWE, one mistake can be forgiven, but when a superstar continuously steps out of line, it doesn't take long before the company decides it's time to make a change. Triple H and Nick Aldis warned Randy Orton following WWE fines. In the lead-up to Backlash 2025, both Triple H and Nick Aldis had personally warned Randy Orton that his job was on the line. They made it clear that his attitude had been affecting not only his own career but also the overall atmosphere within the locker room. But Orton, known for his rebellious streak, didn't seem to take the warnings seriously. According to insiders, he brushed off the advice and continued to operate as though he was untouchable. His arrogance, coupled with his decades of experience, led him to believe that no matter what, he could always bounce back. But what Orton didn't count on was the growing frustration within WWE management. With Backlash 2025 fast approaching, Triple H and Aldis were under intense pressure to ensure the show ran smoothly. When Orton once again showed signs of disrespect in the lead-up to his match, the decision was made. In a meeting between Aldis and Orton just days before the event, they discussed his future with the company. Unfortunately for Orton, this was the final straw. Nick Aldis had seen enough, and Triple H backed his decision. They both agreed that if Orton didn't change his attitude immediately, his career with WWE would be in jeopardy. And after Backlash 2025, it was clear that nothing had changed. How WWE decided to fire Randy Orton after Backlash 2025. After the Backlash incident, the writing was on the wall. WWE couldn't ignore Orton's behavior any longer. Although the match itself had been a spectacle, it was overshadowed by backstage issues that unfolded immediately after. Orton's actions, both during and after the event, were the final straw that led to his firing. As you can imagine, WWE officials were not happy with the way things had gone down. Randy Orton, who had been one of the most decorated stars in WWE history, was now facing the consequences of his actions. He had let down not only his colleagues but also the WWE Universe. But what made matters worse was the fact that Orton had been warned multiple times, and this last incident showed that he hadn't learned from past mistakes. The decision was made swiftly. Nick Aldis and Triple H had no choice but to part ways with Orton for the good of the company. It was clear that WWE wanted to send a message to its superstars: no one is above the rules. Real reasons Randy Orton was fired by SDGM Nick Aldis. So, let's break down the real reasons why Randy Orton was fired by SmackDown GM Nick Aldis and Triple H after Backlash 2025. It wasn't just one incident that led to this moment, it was a culmination of years of behavior that went unchecked. The first major issue was Orton's attitude. He had become a disruptive force within the locker room, and his relationship with fellow superstars had soured. The constant clashes with both younger talent and veterans had caused a rift that couldn't be repaired. Orton's behavior was starting to tarnish his legacy, and it became a major concern for WWE officials. Second, his history of fines and reprimands played a significant role in his firing. While every wrestler has their moments, Orton's repeated offenses made it clear that he wasn't willing to follow the company's rules. When the fines reached a breaking point, WWE had no choice but to take decisive action. Finally, there was the Backlash 2025 incident itself. Orton's behavior at the event wasn't just a one-off, it was the tipping point. After everything that had happened, WWE had to act. They couldn't afford to let one of their biggest stars set a bad example for the rest of the roster. And there you have it, folks. Randy Orton's firing was the result of a series of unprofessional actions that had been building up over time. This decision, made by Nick Aldis and Triple H, was the final blow to Orton's WWE career. It's a shocking turn of events, and it's one that will have major ramifications for the future of WWE. What do you think? Was WWE right to fire Randy Orton? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for all the latest updates. Until next time, stay tuned to Wrestling News CC. If you thought tonight's story was wild, trust me, what happens next will blow your mind. So don't stop now. Click on the video right here on your screen to continue the chaos, the drama, and the inside scoop only we deliver. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and join the Wrestling News CC family, where the real stories of WWE come to life. See you in the next one.